Hi, I'm Robbie Lawler.
What's up, Fight Family? This is your favorite MMA coach, Thiago Alves, the Pitbull.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Pedro Munoz.
This is Mike Brown.
Guys, I am Alexei Alenik, and welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And this is We Want One Picks.
And you're watching We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks. Hi, everybody from American Top Picks.
My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. It is fight day. It's Fight Saturday. We have a nice big pay-per-view tonight. We have Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. And that means we are going to walk through the fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our bets, our breakdowns, but we are also going to build a full card parlay with your picks. So make sure you jump into this live chat. When we break down the fights, give us your thoughts and your picks, and I am going to build a parlay with every single one of your picks. I'm going to put $10 on it, and if it hits, I will give all of the money to the members of this channel. Every single member will split that money, and depending if you guys pick favorites or underdogs, we're talking about an 11-fight parlay. That could be anywhere from $2,000 to $50,000. Let's see where we end up. Before I jump into breaking down the fights and building that parlay with your picks, make sure you become a member of this channel. There's a join button under the video. It is incredibly helpful. It's a couple dollars a month, but you qualify yourself for the giant full fight card parlay every single week. And if you win our free DraftKings league, you get $50 from me. Speaking of $50, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners, make a deposit. After you do, let me know, and I will send you $50. As a thank you, I will send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. And that's at wewantpicks.com/bets. What's up, everybody? I see Jill, Joe, Mr. Savage, level 9,000. Let's have some fun. Let's break down these fights. And go ahead, guys, give me your picks. I also have another screen here. We're going to do the parlay on my bookie. I'm not logged in, but I'll line it up, and then after the stream's over, I'll log in. I'll submit it so we can actually follow along and see what those odds are as we build the parlay. So let's jump right in. Mujad, you're asking Giles and Morales. We're not there yet. Let's work our way through in chronological order. We're down to 11 fights. So let's walk through. Start voting in the comments. Let me know who you think is going to win. And the very first fight of the night, the first pay-per-view of 2022, we have Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Kay Hansen. If you watch all our videos, you've seen us break this down a few times. But Jasmine Jasudavicius, 6-1 in her career. She's 4-1 in her last 5. She's coming off a nice win on Contender Series. And that's a theme here. A lot of the fighters on this card are making their official UFC debut, whether that's their first fight after Contender Series or just straight up right into the UFC, no Contender Series. Jasmine is one of them. She's fighting Kay Hansen, who's 7-4 overall. She's 4-1 in her last 5, and she's coming off a loss to Corey McKenna. Jasmine Jasudavicius, she's a grappler. She likes to come forward. She pushes the pace with her striking. She's got a lot of volume. She throws a bit wild. And she has a nice clinch, though. She'll grab a collar tie. She'll work the underhook. She'll throw knees right up the middle, and she'll sort of push you around from there. She likes takedowns because she likes to get it on the ground because she is a grappler. Her takedowns can be sloppy, but her hips are so good that she ends up on top. She ends up winning scrambles from, bad takedown setups. Will create a scramble, but then she'll end up on top in the scramble because her hips are so good. Kay Hansen is stupid young. I've mentioned this a few times. She made her UFC debut at 20, which this day and age is very young. At 20 years old, she's short, she's powerful. She's also a grappler. I've made this reference a few times, but I said she Mike Tyson's her way in, and that's because she covers up, she bobs and weaves heavy, and then when she comes up, she'll bob, and when she comes up, big, heavy, wild punches, and she uses that to close the distance, push you up against a cage, and then she'll drop down, pick you up, slam you, and work her takedowns. Once it hits the ground, I think Kay Hansen is the better grappler, but I think Jasmine has the better scramble skills, the better hips. If it stays on its feet, I think Kay probably has the more raw power, but neither one of them have a ton of power. Where Jasmine is busier and she will throw those knees. It's a pretty close fight. The odds don't see it that way. My personal pick is Jasmine Jazzadavicious. That is my personal pick. But a lot of people think Kay Hansen is going to win, Jacob included. So, guys, let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. We will add that to our parlay. So let's scroll through and see what we got going on here. What's up, Syrian Prodigy from Twitch? And we're streaming on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook right now. Let's see. We have one vote for Kay Hansen. Jasmine, so we're 1-1. You're saying you think the size is going to make a difference. She's not more powerful. So size, but she's longer. She uses that length pretty well. Where she does use it is the clinch. She'll tie you up, and those knees are coming from this far away, which a lot more room to build up some steam. You guys are getting ahead talking about Giles. Let's see. Jasmine, we got 2 for Jasmine. We're live, Plague. We're live. You'll know if it's a rerun. Not to mention, Jasmine is also a grappler. She got 2 grapplers, one with better striking and size advantage. I agree. The difference, though, is I think Kay can get the takedowns. Kay can pick up, slam, work takedowns from there, where Jasmine relies on winning scrambles because her takedowns are a bit sloppy. So we have a couple picks for Jasmine so far. Are you talking about DraftKings projections? I don't have them, but Joey is in the live chat. Joe, if you want to chat the DraftKings projections, that'd be fantastic. Am I scared of JJ putting herself in dangerous spots when she grapples? Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, she's an underdog for a reason. I think she wins because her hips, she's got good hips. And that sounds so stupid, and it honestly sounds creepy if I keep going about it. But I've wrestled my entire life. Hips are the difference between state champions and national champions. Hips. It means everything in grappling exchanges, and I was really impressed with what Jasmine was able to do. You're picking Mujahid is picking K, but you did say Jasmine has wrestling as well. Another K. I think we've got K here. She leaves her neck there to be snatched, and same with her arms. She posts up with her arms, and she's susceptible to arm bars. Jasmine, boy, you guys are split in the first fight. We've got another K. This is K, because K has OnlyFans. I think JJ needs to keep it on her feet. Let me get 2 or 3 more votes, and then I'm going to lock it in. We're going to build this parlay together. One of her hips is the size of Kay Hansen. Listen, you're very focused on the size advantage. She's obviously much taller. Here's the stats. Forgot to show the stats. She's obviously taller. We have 5'2" to 5'7". The reach is 63 inches to 68 inches, but you've heard me talk about reach in the past. It means nothing unless you know how to use it. Jasmine doesn't really know how to use it, meaning she doesn't keep you at range. But because she's long, once she gets that clinch, it's really effective because those knees have a long way to go. Plague Runner with the $5 donation in the super chat. My man, Pots and Pans, thank you very, very much. Put it on the parlay for K, and that's what we're going to do. K with the K's the pick. Let's look at the stats, and then I'll lock it in, and you'll watch me do that on the other screen here. So, it looks like Kay Hansen has more striking accuracy, absorbs fewer strikes, has better striking defense, but the striking defense stats are such meaningless nonsense. Takedowns, though, Jasmine with 4. Keep in mind, this is from one single UFC fight. Jasmine with 4, her accuracy was pretty good. She didn't have to defend anything, so it doesn't count. K was the pick. You guys voted on K. Let's swap screens. You're looking at my bookie here. We're going to grab K. She's the minus 220 favorite. This is a parlay. So right now, we've got Kay Hansen minus 225. That is the first pick of our full card parlay that I am building with your picks. And just remember, you get the money. If this full card parlay hits, the money goes to the members of this channel. So click the join button under the video and become a member. Let's see what we got here. We did not, but okay. Of course you did. Scroll up. What are you talking about? You didn't pick K. Alexandre. Look at all these K picks. Alan Huang, K. Paul Brazefield, K. Mr. Savage, K. No, actually not K, but undefeated, K. Mujahid, K. K was the pick, Alexandre. I'm sorry, my man. K was the pick. Okay, let's move on to the next fight, the second fight of the evening, opening up UFC 270 on the deep undercard. This fight has been rebooked. We have Vanessa Demopoulos. She's fighting Silvana Gómez Juárez. I've broken this fight down probably 12 times at this point. But Vanessa Demopoulos, I say she's a striker. She's really a grappler, but she doesn't know how to wrestle, so she can't get it there. But anyway, Vanessa Demopoulos is 6-4 overall. She's 2-3 in her last 5. Her UFC debut was her last fight, and it was against JJ Aldrich, so it didn't really work out well for her. Silvana Gómez Juárez also coming off of a loss, also her UFC debut, and that was against Lupita Godinez, which, you know, both of these women had really tough first fights in the UFC. Really tough first fights in the UFC. But Silvana's 10-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. This fight was originally supposed to happen a few weeks ago. They moved it to UFC 270. And I mentioned this last time. What I really like about fights that were booked and then rebooked are the odds makers put out a line. People like me and you come in, we pound a line. The line inevitably moves, and then they have to pull it because the fight didn't happen. So then when they rebook the fight and they put the line back out there, you get to see what happened with the money. And she went from, this was basically a pick'em the first time around a couple weeks ago. And then the money moved towards Vanessa. And then now the line opened at -140, and DraftKings added $100 or so. Jacob just texted. He'll be here in about 40 minutes. Added $100 to her cost. So Vanessa, this went from a pick'em to Vanessa, a medium-sized favorite here. But Vanessa Demopoulos took her UFC debut against JJ Aldrich at 125. So she went up a weight class. This is at 115. This is her weight class. I say she's a striker. She likes to fight inside the pocket. She doesn't have any power whatsoever, but she does have good volume. She's got good footwork. The reality is she's a grappler. She wants to be on the ground. She wants to be, you know, working those jiu-jitsu exchanges, but she doesn't have takedowns. She does not have takedowns. So in order for her to get it to the ground, somebody needs to take her down, or there needs to be a scramble. So that's why I call her a striker, because if you're a grappler that can't get it to the ground, you're effectively a striker. Silvana Gómez Juárez, again, she lost to Lupita Godinez in her UFC debut. She uses her reach pretty well to keep people at bay, and she's a power striker. She's got legitimate power in her hands, and she also throws really heavy leg kicks. The market decided that Vanessa was the favorite. I agree. Vanessa's the favorite. Jacob is stupid high on Vanessa here. I personally think Vanessa should win this fight, but Silvana has power in her hands. Vanessa doesn't have very good takedowns, so Silvana just needs to come forward, throw big, throw heavy. If Vanessa wants to stay in the pocket, that is fine. Silvana just needs to make her pay and make her feel every single one of those strikes inside the pocket. So Vanessa is my pick, but I am very aware of Silvana's power and how dangerous she can be. What are your picks so we can add it to the full card parlay? We have, you guys are so split. Undefeated said Demopoulos, Bunquiqui Silvana, Mr. Savage Silvana. Mr. Savage said, I feel like Vanessa is going to be like a walking punching bag, failing at takedowns. Listen, I agree. I mean, I have no bet on this. Neither one of them are in my lineup. And there's a few fights on this card where my head and my gut are saying two different things. My gut is saying Silvana wins this fight, but my head, my brain, the logical side is saying Vanessa. So that's why I'm not playing it. Ishmael, Vanessa, I think she can get the fight to the ground. Jacob's convinced she can as well. Silvana is 37. Here's the stats that I always forget to put up. We have a vote for and I guess, Jill, you're saying that meaning she's older. So you're probably picking the other side. Demopolis. Vanessa has shown zero signs of being able to get the fight to the ground. 100% agree with you there. I sure did. If you remember, Jacob said she used to be a dancer. So she showed off those skills at the weigh-ins. If Gómez wins, Jakey turns poor. Jake's flirting with poor already. So if Silvana wins, he's eating spam for a while. Ex-pole dancer, that is for Vanessa. Then we got the chat bot putting out notifications. Gómez can't prevent a takedown. Yeah, her takedown accuracy is at 0%. Granted, she only has that one fight in the UFC, and it was against Lupita Godinez, so stats are a bit skewed. Ex-sweet spot with Vanessa. Akin Vanessa by submission. Pretty straightforward. Same plan as Lupi. Yes, except Lupi is like a bully. Lupi has takedowns. Lupi is strong. Vanessa can bully but doesn't have any takedowns. But this is at 115, which is very good for Vanessa. Jill with Vanessa. Alexandre Silvana. So, she's still a stripper. Honestly, I guarantee she makes more money doing that than this right now. Guaranteed. No question about it. Can't compare Vanessa to Lupi. I completely agree. 37 and second fight in the UFC. You don't like it. Lupi's explosive. Where the hell did we end up? Where did we end up? That seemed split. Let me try to keep track because that seemed pretty split. Okay. I need a moderator here. This is where I need Jacob. I need a moderator here totaling things for me. All right. So we have a Silvana, a Lupi, a Vanessa. 2-1 Silvana. 2-2 with Mr. Savage. 3-2 Vanessa. 4-2 Jill. 5-2 Plague Runner. 5-3 Bunquiqui. 6-3 X Sweet Spot. 7-3. Okay. The pick was Vanessa Demopoulos. Let's see. Let's add Vanessa Demopoulos to the parlay. Let's see what that does. Go down. Vanessa Demopoulos minus 140. We've added that to the parlay. Let's see what $10. Right now it's at plus 147. We have two heavy favorites, plus 147. $10 gets us $14.76. We have 9 more fights to go, guys. And we started with 2 favorites. That's not going to help our payouts, but it may help this to get locked in. Let's move on. Then we have Matt Frevola versus Jacob's Lock of the Week, Jannero Valdez. Matt Frevola, 8-3 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5. And unfortunately for him, his last fight was against Terrence McKinney in Terrence's UFC debut, which was like a 4-second knockout or something absurd. Jannero Valdez, 10-0 overall. Obviously, he's 5-0 in his last 5. Every single one of his fights was a win by stoppage. Matt Fravola's a really tough wrestler. He never stops coming forward. He's not very technical in his striking, but he still has no problem charging forward, throwing bombs. I've even seen a few sloppy back fists in the mix there, spinning rotation. Just, you hate seeing that. There's no reason for it unless the only time a spinning back fist is fine is if I come with a solid jab, a solid right hand, you've now circled out, and then I can come bang. That's the only time a spinning back fist makes any sense. Otherwise, don't ever turn your back to your opponent. It's stupid as hell, especially if you're Matt Frevola and you're a wrestler. There's no reason to turn your back to anybody, especially fighting a wrestler like this, because Jannero Valdez is incredibly Daffy Duck, incredibly well-rounded. He's primarily a grappler. He has absolutely no issues getting into a slugfest, which could be a problem for Matt because he can as well. It's fun to watch him fight. He uses his takedowns really well. even though he'll have some fun in a slugfest, he will still always drop, always take a shot, and always work for that takedown. He's only got one fight in the UFC, so his stats are a bit skewed, but he had 4 takedowns in only 6 minutes of fighting on the Contender Series a few months ago. Should be a fun fight. We've got 2 grapplers. I'll call them grapplers, even though Jannero can strike as well. We've got 2 grapplers. They're both pretty wild on their feet. They're both looking for takedowns at all time. I think Matt Frevola probably has the more technical wrestling, the more technical takedowns, but I think Jannero Valdez can stick to a game plan and has the more dangerous hands. My personal pick is Jannero Valdez. Jacob's lock of the week is Jannero Valdez. What's your pick? So we can add it to the parlay. This may be the first underdog that we're adding. All right, let's see. I love how active the live chat is. All right, undefeated, locked in on Valdez. We've got 1 Jannero Valdez. So many people are fading Valdez, but I think he's got a good chance. I mean, he's my straight up pick. I think he wins. I almost put a money line bet on him, and the only reason I didn't is because, anytime you get one of these straight up true UFC debut guys, that just adds a little bit of caution, right? I don't know what the bright lights will do. I don't know, and this is a real arena with fans on a pay-per-view, not the sparring session that is what the hell is the name of that UFC arena, the little one? Oh my God. I cannot believe Apex. So it's not like the little Apex that has a couple bleachers. This is a real arena will be loud and a ton of people in there. So you just never know what that's going to do. So that makes me a little nervous, but Jannero Valdez is not somebody that I would fade. If anything, it took everything to not bet on him. We got another Valdez, 3 Valdezes. Augusta Air has a good chance against Matt Frevola. So 4 Valdezes. Let's see. 5 Valdezes. Can we just pick fight doesn't go? Go the distance. Listen, so this pre-fight live that we're doing right now, breaking down the fights, building this full card parlay that you get to keep the money if it hits. We're going to do it this format. There's no fights next week, so it'll give us a little time to think about it. Maybe we do 2 different parlays, a round parlay and a fight money line parlay. And if we have enough time today, maybe we'll circle back and do a round parlay as well, because that might be a good way to, double our chances of winning, because doing a full fight round parlay is probably much easier than a full fight, picking 11 fighters to win. Let's see. Filthy Casual Films. Jannero's gas tank is an issue. I see him winning the first and fading in the second and surviving the third. What's awesome about that is Bet Online has those plus 3.5 bets. Let me check on another screen. Bet Online has those plus 3.5 bets. I'll tell you right now if they have it, because all you need your fighter to do is win 1 single round, and he's already an underdog. Let's see. 6 markets. I don't think they have it. They don't have the plus 3.5. Did they stop offering those? Let's see. 6. Oh, here we go. Does this have it? They stopped? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so they don't have it for Jannero Valdez. They do have it for the Vanessa Demopoulos fight. They don't have it for Jannero Valdez. Let's see what Vanessa Demopoulos plus 3.5 is. Sorry, I'm off task here. Yeah, minus 230. And plus 185. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Let me just check one more time, because Jannero Valdez is a perfect candidate for plus 3.5. Oh, they do. So Jannero Valdez is minus 115 at plus 3.5. So again, all that means I'm gonna put a unit on that right now. All that means is Jannero Valdez just has to win. I just locked that in. So I just did plus 3.5 on Jannero Valdez. So what that means, sorry if I'm off topic. What that means is for me to win my bet, Jannero Valdez just has to win 1 round. 1 round. That's it. So to Filthy Casuals breakdown here, if Jannero comes out, has an electric first round, and then gasses and loses the next 2 rounds, I still win my bet. I'm not going to get the plus 170. I'm going to get minus 115, but I only need him to win 1 round. Now, if he wins the fight, I get paid, but I just need him to win 1 round. So I like that bet. I just threw a unit at that. Let's finish the tally here. You're only going to get that bet at Bet Online. They're the only ones that offer it. Go through us, and I'll give you $50. Just go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up. We have 5 different betting partners. The one that I just did that 3.5 with is Bet Online. Just sign up, make a deposit. After you do, let me know. I'll send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Ask anybody in the chat. I've been paying a bunch of you left and right. So far, you guys are on Valdez. To be honest, wasn't so impressed by Valdez in his last fight on Contender Series, but you've never been a fan of Frevola. Here's the stats. We'll look at them in a second. Valdez. Somebody who said earlier that people are fading Valdez because this entire chat, other than Bonquiqui, has Valdez. Looks like Valdez is the pick. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for keeping track for me. Yeah, Valdez it is. We've got 3 Frevola, maybe 2. No clue what that means. You're getting filthy. Filthy casual. Why you give bad pick, bro? See ya. Beat it. I should throw you out of the chat. Undefeated. Trains with Moreno as well as Michael Morales. Oh, man, I'm a big karma guy. I've been managing fighters for 15 years, and you have no idea how many times we'll go into a locker room, one teammate loses, and it is just like a waterfall of losses after that. I believe in karma. I believe in the, like, not karma, like karma's like you do something bad will happen to you. Just energy. I do believe in locker room energy, and you have a bunch of guys on the same team. It is up to that first fighter to set the tone for the rest of that team. So hopefully Jannero Valdez can really get that going. 9-2 Valdez. RJ Smith. We'll get to that fight in a bit. So let's go ahead. We will add Valdez to our full card parlay. See what that does. Jannero Valdez plus 160. That boosted our odds to 543. So $10 wins $54. Don't worry, guys. We only have 3 fights on here. We will have 11. This will be well over $1,000 and potentially up to 20 or 30,000, depending on what we do with the underdogs. And anybody watching, we're building out a full card parlay with your picks. These are not my picks. These are your picks. Whatever the majority says in the live chat, I'm going to throw the $10 on the parlay. It could be anywhere from, we'll find out in an hour or so. It could be anywhere from $1,000 to $30,000, depending on what we do with the underdogs here. And if the parlay hits, I will give you the money. The money goes to the members of this channel. So if you're watching, you want to support us, and you want to qualify yourself for that payout, click the join button under this video, become a member. I'm not going to keep any of the money. It's going to go to all the members of this channel. Let's look at these stats real quick before I move on. Jannero Valdez has a 1-inch reach advantage, which, as I always say, is complete nonsense. It means nothing. He's the busier striker. He lands a little more effectively. But this takedown stat here, 10.47, it's a little misleading because, look, it's takedowns, average number of takedowns for 15 minutes. He only fought for 6 minutes in his last fight. So they took that, multiplied it to get it up to 15. So he didn't get 10 takedowns in his last fight. He had like 4.5, which then they, did the math, and that's what it worked out to. And listen, that's all anything takes. That's why betting on fights is fun and risky. Let's move on. Next up, we have Tony Gravely versus Simon Oliveira. Tony Gravely, nonstop, relentless wrestler. He's 21-7 in his career. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off a loss to Nate Maness just a few months ago. That was not a great loss either. Simon Oliveira, 18-3 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. His last loss was in 2018. Tony Gravely loves to come forward. He's got volume striking, some decent power, and then he just wrestles hard. He is an old school ground and pound guy. He's very strong. He uses his strength well, And when he gets those takedowns, he is busy on top. He's just looking for damage, elbows, punches, posturing up. He's not looking for submissions. He's not looking for any control other than to keep you where you are so he can elbow you in the face. He averages almost 6 takedowns per fight, which is nuts. There's no secrets to his game plan. He is going to shoot. He's going to get you to the ground. What happens on the ground is up for debate, but it will get to the ground, and Tony will get him there. Simon Oliveira, 18-3. He's a really slick BJJ guy. He's incredibly flexible. He's literally dangerous everywhere on the ground. I compared him to Charles Oliveira because when he's on the ground, he always has something in his hands. He's always posturing. He's always controlling. And anybody who's in this live chat that's done jiu-jitsu, you always want something in your hands. You're not posting on the mat. Your feet are on your opponent's hips, and then your hands are inside looking for underhooks, looking for wrists so that you can work, sweep, work your way up, whatever you want to do. And that's exactly what Simon's jiu-jitsu looks like. He's super busy. On his feet, though, it's odd because he's technical. He has some solid striking, but he way overreacts. If you throw a 1-2, you throw a jab, you have a straight right behind it, he will bring his head way back like, uh-oh, please don't hit me. So he way overreacts, and that is perfect for Tony because Tony just has to come in with a couple of big shots and then, boop, lowers level, get to the hips, takedown, and that's it. The question is what happens when it gets to the ground because Oliveira is a savage grappler. Tony Gravely has been submitted many times. He has 7 losses in his career. 6 of them are by submission. Not good. Oliveira has 18 wins. 11 of those 18 wins are by submission. So 100% Tony Gravely is going to get this to the ground. 100%. If he can ride it out, grind, beat up, win on top, or is he going to get submitted? That's the big question. I personally think he will ride it out, grind, win on top. $8,900 in DraftKings. I have him in my lineup because he's just going to score a ton of points with those takedowns. And if you go back and you watch Oliveira fight Ari Farias, it's on YouTube, you'll see that Ari Farias was able to take him down, weather a storm. He got sliced up a bit because, on bottom, Oliveira's throwing elbows and stuff. But he rode him out, he beat him up, and he won that fight. So my pick is Tony Gravely, but we are building this full card parlay with your picks. So let's see what we got. Bunquiqui. Tony has a style to beat Simon, but fuck, it almost seems like he tries to lose. He's very excited on top to elbow you in the mouth. Very excited on top, which, opens him up for some issues. We have an Oliveira 1-1, Gravely 2-1. Gravely seems like a better version of Brian Kelleher. Gravely's a better ground and pounder than Brian Kelleher, but I actually think Brian Kelleher is probably a little more well-rounded. I forget where we were, 2-1 or 3-1. Simon is really not impressive. Oliveira loves to pull gilly, which is concerning, but Tony should be able to dictate where this fight goes. Yeah, I honestly could see Tony Gravely scoring 200 points in DraftKings because it's just takedown, and they're 5 points each. So pulling guard is still a takedown as far as DraftKings is concerned. Zero Bob. I like Gravely, but I'd skip this one. So another vote for Gravely. Another vote for Gravely. Is Oliveira one of the better underdogs on the card? Plus 200. He's definitely, he's a true UFC debut or is, official UFC debut. And there are a couple of decent underdogs on this card. I just get nervous with these official UFC debuts, especially on a big pay-per-view card like this. So he is, to answer your question, is he one of the better underdogs on the card? Yes, I think he is, but I don't think he wins. Paul, I would agree. Tony Gravely's like an 85% lock, but that 15% is him getting submitted because we've seen that happen 6 other times. Tony loves to jump in the guard and arm bars. And listen, Simon Oliveira is dangerous on bottom. He throws things up. 5-1 Gravely, X sweet spot. I love the total because I started like this and then I already lost track. Jill with Gravely. So many of those sub wins would never happen against a high-level UFC fighter. It's all just pulling guillotine on opponents that don't know how to escape. I don't necessarily disagree, but he is slick on the ground. Jacob will be here. I think he's at the gym. He said he'll be joining at 2 o'clock Central Time, which is in 25 minutes. We'll basically be done, but he'll join. Gravely, but Oliveira is dangerous. 7-1 Gravely, my man. Gravely is the pick. Absolutely. Let's catch up on chat. I want to say Tony, but something tells me Oliveira wins. I don't have that gut feeling with this fight. But I do have a gut feeling that Bar Santos loses, even though I think he's a savage and he's in my DraftKings lineup. I have a feeling that I'm forgetting. Well, when we get to it, I'll let you guys know. But there's a few of these fights that my brain and my gut do not line up. This is not one of them. I'm very confident in Tony, but if he submitted, I don't think anybody would be surprised. I don't even think Tony would be surprised. Let's see. Hansen is going to maul Jasmine and get a sub. I'm stunned Angelo is on Jasmine. Not just me. Lots of you people. You people. I said it. I guess we'll find out. I used to be the woman fight whisperer. Let's see if I've lost that. One punch from the Sandman. Tony Gravely is the pick. Let's add him to our full card parlay. If you don't know, I am building a full card parlay with your, oh man, can I not minimize? There it is. With your picks. Tony Gravely was the pick. Minus 250. This isn't going to help the odds. Yes. All right, we're at plus 800. So far, we have Kay Hansen at minus 225. Vanessa Demopoulos at minus 140. Jannero, that's the New York in me, Jannero Valdez at plus 160, and Tony Gravely at minus 250. That gets us to plus 801, which means $10 wins us $80. This will blow up, I promise you. We're at plus 800 with only 4 fights now. And look at the favorites. It's all favorites except one. Now, when you start adding fights, it really starts to stack up. So, back here. And let's move on. This is an interesting one. Jacob's not here. We'll circle back when he shows up. He's convinced. He's a mess in this fight. Anyway, start listing your picks, and I'll do my breakdown. We have Jack Della Maddalena. He's fighting Pete Rodriguez, who only has 4 fights. 4 fights to his name. 4 fights. Making his UFC debut. No contender series, just straight to the UFC. Oh, Angelo, he must have been like an incredibly accomplished kickboxer. No, straight to the UFC. Amateur fighter at 19, straight to the UFC. So you can tell where my pick is going to be. He's 4-0. Jack Maddalena, 10-2 in his career. He's coming off a solid contender series win. He has not lost since 2016. Pete Rodriguez, only 4 fights, and he's taking this on short notice. Jack Maddalena, he's coming off a solid win on the contender series. He doubled his opponent's strikes in that fight. He's a striker, and he's got an interesting style because he plots forward on his toes. He's got a real nice step-in jab. And then when his opponents respond, they throw something back, he takes nice full steps backwards, just completely removes himself from range, resets, come back in, touch, full removal of range. It's a lot of work, but he's got the cardio, and his in and out is really working for him. He has deceiving power as well. He's almost like a Sean Strickland minus the volume, where jabs are dropping people. He has very deceiving volume. He's just throwing out a jab, a quick 1-2, and people are just dropping under that. Obviously, it's not the highest level opponent, but what do you want? He earned his way to the UFC. He's only 10-2, or he's already 10-2. He has solid takedown defense, but his takedowns are not fantastic. Pete Rodriguez, only 4 professional fights. He has been fighting amateur since he was 19, but he is a brawler. He likes to throw big, heavy punches. He has no problem staying inside the pocket, and even though he lacks experience, he is pretty composed. He does a solid job of pushing away if you're in a tie-up and then just throwing bombs with the space that he made. You know, there's no world where I can pick Pete Rodriguez. None. It is striker versus striker, and that always opens the door for anything to happen. But how are we comparing these two guys? I'm shocked the UFC even went this route. And I'm going to look real stupid if Pete Rodriguez just takes off Jack Maddalena's head. And this is no offense against Pete Rodriguez. He's just too young in his career. It's too early. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the same technique. And honestly, he's undersized. He should be a 155-pounder, not a welterweight. So not only do I personally have Della Maddalena winning this fight, I've got a KO TKO prop bet on him, and I think it's a mauling. He's in my DraftKings lineup. I spent the $9,200. I'm all over it. Jacob, who's not here to defend his bullshit, thinks Pete Rodriguez wins. When he shows up, he'll be here in a bit. I'll let him explain that absolute crap. Let's look at the stats real quick. We obviously have none on Pete Rodriguez and Jack Della's. Do you guys call him Jack Della or Jack Maddalena? I'm not doing all three names anymore. All of these stats are from one single fight on Contender Series, but he had a really solid striking differential of 7-4 with significant strikes. Takedowns were not a factor, but he did defend 3 of 4. So, pretty well-rounded guy for the most part. This is a beating, in my opinion. Let's see who you guys picked. Let's see. Wow, you guys really went in on this one. Okay. We have a Jack. A lot of the pay-per-view cards are favorite heavy. Yep, I agree. In the UFC's defense, a bunch of these matchups were last-minute replacements, short notice, because of all the the COVID testing and how fast that's spreading. They did eliminate. I don't know if you guys saw, but the UFC is now only testing unvaccinated fighters. The majority of the fighters are vaccinated, which means a lot of them will be able to avoid testing. So even if they have COVID, if they're, if they don't have any symptoms and it's not obvious, nobody will know. And we should expect to see fewer fights canceled. What does this mean? FDNGT. Oh, fight does not go the distance. Yeah, I did. The problem with fight does not go the distance, that was like stupid odds. I'll tell you right now what those odds. I'll tell you what they are now, not when I bet. But fight does not go the distance on this fight. Come on. I'm not seeing fight does not go the distance. I'm just seeing, go the distance. No. Minus 375. I'm not spending minus 375. No way. So instead, I got Jack Della Maddalena to win by KO or TKO. And I forgot what I got on that, but I'll look it up. Much better than minus 375. That's for sure. Heyo, new subscriber. Thank you very much. Theodore Lupu. Wayne Spurlock. Pete KO Jack. Jack is a bum. All right, so you think a new member, Robert, welcome to the membership. You now qualify yourself to win this parlay that we're building in the live chat. So if you're watching and you're in the live chat, let me know your picks because you will get the money when it gets paid out. So Wayne, you're picking Pete? Wow. Pistol Pete, we've got like 5-2 here. I called it last week, only 2 underdogs. Who are the 2 that you called? Oh, McGee and Qatar. I got Jack all day. Filthy Casual. This might be a Chris Curtis situation, except Chris Curtis had like 20 fights and fighting at a very high level and a ton of experience, where Pete Rodriguez has 4 fights. Joey, welcome back. 6-1 so far. Thank you, sweet spot. We got another Jack. That's 7-1. Defend his BS. Yeah, Jacob needs to come here and defend his absolute nonsense. The problem with Jacob, and you guys know this by now, some of it is for the laughs and some of it is 100% serious. He did let me know today. He's like, I got a lot of money. New subscriber, Brady Likens. Thank you very much, Brady Likens. Welcome to the club. Okay, 8-1 Jack so far. Yeah, it's almost the same as the money line. So obviously I'd go that in if fight does not go the distance is the same as money line, always go fight does not go the distance in a fight like this, but I'm still not touching that. Another Jack. It's obvious the pick's obviously Jack, but let me catch up on chat. Somebody just commented laughing that Jacob calls himself the freckled salamander, which is like a stupid nickname he came up for himself. And then he was joking. He's like, if I had an OnlyFans, I feel like the freckled salamander is such like a clever but creepy name. Luis Ortiz, if you're watching on YouTube, which I think you are, under this video, you see a button that says join. Click that button. You immediately become a member. And then you qualify yourself for our full card parlay payout, which is what we're doing now. And if you win our free DraftKings league, I send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, I just send you $50. The parlay, we're building it right now. I'm putting my money. I'm paying for the parlay. And if it hits, which is obviously a long shot, but if it hits, all of the money will go to the members of this channel. Jack decision or KO. I think Della fades and starts blocking with his head too much. And Pete, although he's sloppy and gets hit too, is tough as a and hits like a truck. But you people, what did I miss when watching the footage? Is what with Streamlabs? Becoming a member? The membership's on YouTube. You can just click join under the video. If some people hate Google and hate YouTube, if you look in the description, there's something that says buy us a beer. You can become a member there as well. And you'll qualify for all the payouts. And Jill, you've been incredibly generous in the past, so you're in the club. Jacob will be here in a bit. He's wrapping up at the gym, but he will be here in a little bit. Jack drops his hands. We're spending a lot of time on this fight. No problem. We got time. Jack drops his hands. He's slow as hell. Pete has power, pressure, young, hungry lion with nothing to lose in a debut. I hope Jack is taking. I mean, you guys really. Oh, Streamlabs deleted Mbae's comment. I don't know what the comment was. The Streamlabs bot is just not allowing links because we constantly get spam of like, watch the fights here. And then it's like, 7 letters dot 5 more letters. And obviously it's there to steal your identity. But that's all the bot's doing. Glover versus Jiri, 100%. Oh, yeah, it says, let's see. And then Bunquiqui, Lusa fight Jack was getting pieced up in the third round. He was slowing down. So Jack's been the pick, although there are some staunch, some of you disagree. So let's go ahead and add Jack to our parlay. Can I not minimize this? Son of a douche. There we go. Yeah, that looks terrible, though. All right, let's zoom out. It's a little harder for you guys to see, but it is what it is. Let's add Jack Della minus 345. That brought our odds to plus 1062. So right now, the full card parlay that I am building with my money for you, but you get to keep the payout, is $10 to win 106. We're only 5 fights in. We have Kay Hansen, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jannero Valdez, Tony Gravely, and Jack Della Maddalena. They're all massive favorites. That's not helping the odds just yet, but we will get there. Let's see. Let's eat tonight, gentlemen. I agree. And speaking of eating, I got a brisket going right now. So that should be ready for the fights. All right. Enough brisket talk. Next up, I love this fight. I love Hannibal Solos. I think he is literally the best fighter you have never heard of. The dude is absolutely incredible, but this fight worries me a little bit. Hannibal Solos, this fight was originally scheduled for UFC Vegas 45, which was in December before the break. It's another fight. We talked about it earlier with the Vanessa Demopoulos fight. The market, the odds makers put out some odds. The money came in. The lines moved. And then the odds makers had to pull the fight because it didn't happen. And then when this line reopened, because they added the fight again, they corrected their mistakes. So the first time this fight was booked in December, Hannibal Solos was minus 220 to win. Minus 220. Then the money came in, fight was canceled, blah, blah. Now the odds are, I actually think they're worse than minus 420. We'll see in a bit. But that's how confident the market is in Hannibal Solos. He's 16-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and that only loss is to Timur Valiev in a wild fight where he ended up defending 6 takedowns against a nasty wrestler. Victor Henry's 21-5. This is his official UFC debut. He's 4-1 in his last 5. So Hanni Barcelos, I can't be high enough on this guy. Like, he is so freaking good everywhere. He's incredibly well-rounded. The last time we broke him down, he was training at Glover Teixeira's gym. And anybody who might be new here, I'm personal friends with Glover. We're both from Connecticut. I spent an enormous amount of time with that guy over the last 20 years. I knew him when he was an amateur. We were training together. Then he got a couple wins. And then the UFC came to him and said, "We want you in the UFC," but he didn't have a green card. So he had to go to Brazil for 10 years or 5 years, whatever it was. And then he got into the UFC. Then he moved back to Connecticut after that. So we obviously reconnected, stayed in touch, all that. Anyway, knowing him, we had a conversation. How good is Hanni Barcelos? And he's like, he's incredible. Hanni Barcelos is absolutely incredible. And I was just texting with him about it a couple months ago when we were getting ready for this, the first time it was booked. And if you watch any tape on Hanni Barcelos, it's true. He's not biased. He is incredible. He's got great hands, great takedown offense, great takedown defense, and great jiu-jitsu. If you go through his stats, he's knocking people out. He's taking people down. He's submitting people. He's literally doing whatever he wants to people. He lost the Timur Valiev fight, but that was very controversial, if you will. He dropped Timur Valiev twice, dropped him twice with his hands, and defended 6 takedowns. That was an awesome fight. If you take anything away from my rant, Hanni Barcelos is nasty. Victor Henry, he's a good striker. He's very fun. He likes to just come forward. He's got a wide variety of striking attacks. He uses his head movement pretty well. And he'll move his head to slip a punch and then just come back with like a wild combination. He sets up leg kicks with his boxing really well. And if he's out of range, he'll come right back in range and just throw kicks to your head. He could be standing like 6 inches from you and still throw a head kick. It's incredible what this guy does in his feet. He's got a ton of variety. He can be very frustrating. His wrestling isn't great, but a lot of you in our comment section were saying you guys are going to be surprised by Victor Henry's wrestling. So I don't know if there was inside scoop there or just an opinion. So listen, at the end of the day, I think Hanni Barcelos is 10 times the fighter that Victor Henry is. Period. End of story. I think Hanni Barcelos is one of the best fighters. Anthony Rivera Medina, welcome to the membership club. Thank you very much. You now qualify yourself for this full card parlay that we're building. If you're in the live chat, let us know your pick because I'm building this with your picks and then you get the money. If we win, anybody else watching, you want to qualify for the payout here, become a member. My pick is Hanni Barcelos. This is a fight where I'm like, everything in me feels like Hanni Barcelos is going to dominate, but there's just like a tiny little, there's just something. It's illogical because Hanni Barcelos is so much better than Victor Henry. There's just something in me. I'm like very nervous for this. This might be, somebody referenced the Chris Curtis. This might be a Chris Curtis effect because this dude has 26 fights. He's not a nobody. He's got 26 fights. This is the exact type of guy that shows up, gets no credit, bang, changes everything like Chris Curtis did to Phil Hawes, like Chris Curtis did to Brendan Allen. I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm like a touch nervous about that. So my pick, Hanni Barcelos, but we're building the full card parlay with your picks. Let's see what we got. You don't like the Hansen pick. She's not up a weight class. She's down a weight class. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Demopolis. My bad. Yeah, I didn't pick Hansen. You people did that. You people. I'm on Jasmine. So if this parlay doesn't hit because of Hansen, you only have yourselves to blame. Okay. Joey, are you doing projections? He'll have to do it when we're done with this or in the live chat. Actually, Joey, let's talk. Honestly, if you could put the projections in our Discord, that would be great. I would appreciate it, and it would give people a reason to join our free Discord. We don't charge for anything on this channel. Barcelos is legit. Alexandre, you and I agree. Do you think Hanni looks worse on the scales? Jacob said, I didn't watch the weigh-ins, but Jacob said that Honey Barcelos looked like he was 50-something years old on the scale. And you cannot trust the ages of the Brazilians that came from the favelas. They literally had no birth certificates or anything. They go to the consulate and they say, hey, I need paperwork because I got to fly. And then the consulate goes, well, how old are you? I'm 17. And then they get their paperwork. So I'm 100% positive. I heard from one of, what the hell's his name? Oh my God. Holy shit. Jose Aldo. I heard from one of Jose Aldo's good friends that's exactly what he did. So some of these Brazilians, you can't trust their age. But Jacob said he looked terrible on the scales. I don't think Ronnie finishes Victor. I agree that he may not because Victor's a very good striker. But if he gets it to the ground, he could submit him. Honey, easy money. Another easy Honey. Got to pick a couple underdogs. If not, the parlay most likely won't hit. We have one underdog in there, and I think we'll have a few in a bit. Ronnie is a bum. Oh, my God. Wayne Spurlock. What a misread by you. I'm very upset. Honey could be champ. I don't see him losing anytime soon. I agree. Mbaye, Victor by decision is plus 900. That's interesting. I also don't think Victor would win a decision. I think if Victor wins, he catches Honey. I would change Hansen. Jasmine is a great underdog. I agree, but you know, I got to go with the majority. Vayrent. Okay, Vayrent. Honey gassed out in a teamer fight where we really only amped up his pace for like a minute. And okay, so he was gassed and he still dropped Teamer Valiev twice and still defended 6 takedowns from the nasty wrestler. That's how good he is. Even exhausted, he was able to do that. Honey makes fights closer than they need to be, and that is the cardio that Bukiki was alluding to. Mr. Savage, Ronnie should win, but Victor is a good underdog and probably even in a loss could score some points. The reason I'll disagree, and you're talking about DraftKings, obviously, and 6,900 is a great price. The reason I disagree is because he's not going to grapple. He's only going to strike. And, you know, we're talking a half a point or 0.2 points for strikes. So I don't think he scores well at all. You need takedowns, a stoppage, or some control time to score well. And I don't think Victor's going to do that. Henry has no chance. Victor, Jill with the underdog. Chris V, I'm pumped with you. Barcelos, Victor, 21 wins is not nothing. I agree. And that's why I said there's just a tiny little thing in me worried that this could be a Chris Curtis effect. One of these big favorites is going to get upset. I agree. Give me a Rice-A-Roni here. He's got 2 wins over UFC fighters, a knockout included. This is Chris Curtis effect. 9-4 Honey at this point. Thank you for keeping track because I definitely lost track. I remember he fought Teamer was coming off a loss. Yeah, but Teamer's nasty. Another Jasmine. Where were you when we were voting? Tell you we can do well, we'll see. I can't start undoing everything. Jasmine is bad. Victor Henry. This card should be free because it kind of sucks. This is like I would compare this to a boxing card where it's very top heavy. The undercard's a little weak. Even the main card's not great, but the main event and the co-main event are so good. And that's literally what boxing does. The main event carries the whole card. So what's funny is doing this show and breaking down these fights in detail, I do find myself caring about trash fights. Like, why do I care about who wins between K and Jizavadicious? Why do I care? In no other world would I care. But I did the research. I dug in. Now I care. Jacob, are you joining or are you just going to do your stupid little live chat? What a joke. Absolute bum. Gas. I asked if you're doing any projections for DK. I answered you, sassy. My God, with the attitude. Do a laughing emoji so take a little sting off of it. My God. Can you talk about Ryan Hall? Yeah. I didn't even see that you're the idiot who wrote that, and I pinned it. All right. It looks like Barcelos, 9-6 Honey. Thank you. Card is basura. Basura means shit in Spanish, guys. I know a few languages. Kenny G been doing push-ups. He has been doing some push-ups. I was gonna fade Ilya Tapora so hard. I actually was annoyed that happened. When is this fight? Tonight, CK Figueras. Tonight. So let's add. Okay, grab your headphones. Let's add Hani Barcelos to our parlays. Minus 510. You guys are not doing yourselves any favors. That only brings this up to we're halfway through the parlay and we're only at plus 1290 because you guys insist on massive favorites here. $10 wins $129. We'll get there. We will find one decent underdog to make this worthwhile. So far, anybody tuning in, I am building a full card parlay. I am doing it with the picks from the live chat. It's that simple. And if the parlay hits, members of this channel will get that money. I will literally divide it evenly amongst the members of this channel. And if you say, hey, how do I become a member? There is a join button under this video. Click the join button, become a member, and you qualify yourself for two things. One, the payout on this parlay if it hits, or every week we'll do this. And two, if you join our free DraftKings league, 100% free, and you win and you're a member, I send you $50 just from my pocket to yours, Venmo, PayPal, however you want it, $50. So right now, the parlay, I'm laying out $10. It's plus 1290 are the odds. Some quick live chat before I move. What the hell is this comment? Can we recount with Hansen versus Jasmine? Half the members were not here when we started. Are you a member, Akin? I don't see a crown. Half the members. We'll go back. Let me get through this. We'll build a full card parlay, and then we'll go back. We got to stick in order. Oh, sorry. Jake has been sitting here. I'm going, man. I'm at work.
I get it.
But we'll move along. What time is the fight? I don't know, Jake. What time is this fight?
They start 6 Central, I think.
6 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Papa Placid. Jacob showed up, so now we're all Papa Flaccid. Here we go.
How we doing,
Next
everyone? Oh, sorry.
That was a good one. We have, let me move this, Michael Morales versus Trevin Giles. This is another official UFC debut. This whole card is loaded with them. Michael Morales, 12-0 in his career. 10 of those wins are by stoppage. He is fighting Trevin Giles, who is 14-3, and he is 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the loss to Duplessis. Michael Morales, absolute killer. The dude is a national champion freestyle wrestler. He's a national champion Muay Thai fighter from Ecuador. And I have to say from Ecuador because if he was an American national champion freestyle wrestler, that's a big deal. Or if he was in Thailand and he was a Muay Thai national champion, that's a much bigger deal than from Ecuador. But still, the dude's a killer, incredibly accomplished. He's got fantastic forward pressure, a really good jab. But his forward pressure is interesting because he is moving forward, but he's not necessarily throwing a ton. He is a Muay Thai national champion, but he doesn't have that Muay Thai guard. He's got a normal loose boxing stance, which really works for him because his footwork is solid, and that's how he can get some of those takedowns. And his takedowns are interesting because they're very clean, but they're more like trips and throws than they are shots. And he's a freestyle wrestler, which is shots. So the guy's pretty interesting because he's incredibly accomplished and then fights a little differently than what you would assume. Trevin Giles, the first attribute I need to mention is he's athletic. He's unbelievably athletic, and he's winning fights he shouldn't win. He's getting close calls that he shouldn't get, and it's literally because of his athleticism and his ability to make things happen. He's got a really, really good jab. Ultimately, he is a grappler. He likes to throw combinations, then step out of range, come back in with the combinations. The stats, when I show them, will make it look like he's very good at taking people down. He's not. His takedowns could definitely use some work. His submission defense, though, is incredibly sound, and his submission offense is pretty good, too. If you watch his fight against Brendan Allen in the LFA, he defended a ton of takedowns and then squeaked out his own. But this is about your picks, not ours. I think I'll give you my pick. Jacob will give you his while you guys put this in the live chat. I think that Michael Morales should win. I think he's a better fighter. He's the more. What do you showed up with food?
Yeah, this is lunchtime.
Oh my!
I'm multitasking.
We have to hear you chew.
It's not chew. It's yogurt.
Oh my god, dude! So I gotta hear.
Is it?
Yeah, even better. Even better. Yeah, and Jake the Snake, and I have to hear that sound. Anyway, I think Michael Morales wins this fight. I think Michael Morales is absolutely the better fighter on paper, but this is another fight where my head and my gut don't line up. My head is saying Michael Morales because of the stats, the fighting style, and his accomplishments outside of the UFC, because he doesn't have any accomplishments in the UFC. My gut is saying Trevin Giles because he does have some experience. Michael Morales is only 21. Trevin Giles has experience. He's tough. And that
Trevin Giles is the best boxer in the UFC.
That athleticism carries him. So my pick is Michael Morales. It's a nervous pick. I didn't bet on him. He's not in my DraftKings. What is your pick? Make it in the live, or let me know in the live chat so we can add it to our full card parlay where you get the money. Jacob, what are your thoughts? Can you clean your disgusting
how's the full card parlay looking? I saw a little bit of it when I first joined.
Break this down and then you'll see when I add it.
Oh, well, Michael Morales is going to win the fight. Let me see the full card parlay. Very easy.
Gotta wait for the people's picks. Okay. Let's catch up in the chat. Right now, the full card parlay is loaded with favorites, so the payout's not going to be as good as they want it to be. I also don't want you guys picking underdogs for no reason. Okay.
That's my job.
The freckled salamander is here. Hey, my man, Pots and Pans. Anthony from Connecticut. Middletown. I'm from Newtown. Welcome to the show. Here you go. Go to the Newtown Deli, order yourself an Angelo sandwich, tell them you know Angelo. And that's not me being a sarcastic prick. There's an Angelo sandwich on the board. It's named after me. Bit of a legend in that town, on the Wrestling Wall of Fame, all the things. So they named the sandwich after me. Okay, back to the picks.
This is what people, so when I don't show up, this is what people listen to the whole time?
Everybody's hungry for a chicken cutlet sandwich
It's unreal.
with fresh mozzarella,
I can't believe you guys are all
balsamic
still in here.
vinaigrette, roasted red peppers. Best sandwich you'll ever have. Okay. Chris V, Trevin Giles by KO. Giles from Jill to Giles. Trevin Giles. Gamrot. What are we breaking down here? Gamrot. We got 3 Giles. Recount will equals automatic loss for you, so don't do it. What? Oh.
He's talking about the full card parlay.
Yeah, if I go back. What's up, Anglo? Is your keyboard backwards? Are you missing letters on your keyboard? What's up, Anglo and Jabak?
Jabak? Actually, hey, I kind of like that. Jabak?
You might be left-handed. You might think you're
Jabak.
right-handed. Try being a lefty and see how that goes with your typing. Morales is the pick. We have to
Fights like a
bimbo.
Fights like a bimbo. That's one of the best comments I've ever seen. And honestly, I like Trevin Giles, but that might be the best description I've ever seen. Especially that last fight versus Duplessis, because I talked about he only landed 10 total strikes in that last fight. The first exchange he actually landed, he like started showboating and stuff, and then just got his clock clean. So that was a very bimbo play for sure.
Giles let his guard down. LOL, Ecuador Wrestling. You know, national champion is a national champion, but obviously, you know, king of the short bus is a little different than. Is anyone worried about Morales only being 21? Absolutely, 100% yes. Absolutely. Listen, I've said it a bunch of times in these breakdowns. There's like 6 or 7 UFC debuts on this card, and I'm considering even if you fought in Contender Series, it's still a UFC debut. On a pay-per-view in a full-size arena with people. That is, you know, that's a big deal. Giles, don't like Contender Series as the favorite.
I'll tell you what that I might play on this fight is if
did I answer this question 11 times?
I don't know what fight he's talking about.
Just
I don't know if he's just talking about the fights
6
or like
it starts. Add 20 minutes from 6 o'clock after that.
Don't get in. Don't yell at people.
No.
Here's how I'm gonna play this fight. I think is this might be a live bet situation. If Trevin Giles comes out and shoots a takedown and gets a takedown like immediately, and it seems pretty easy, I might bet the hell out of Trevin Giles. But if he's starting to dance around, he can't get the takedowns. I think he's in a world of hurt in this fight. But if he can get the takedown, I think he can dominate on the ground.
I feel bad now. We're all just annihilating. Oh, okay. All right. We've been effectively trolled. Well done. I hate you, Jacob. Me and Nicholas Lee. I've been saying, like, me and a few of these people really like.
What the hell did I do? What am I jinxing?
I don't need bad luck for my parlay. Take your stupid hat off. You're cursing people. We have a Giles, Robot. Who has Morales fought? He doesn't need a miracle. Giles. Looks like Giles is the pick. How did Giles look at weigh-ins, Jacob? You watched.
He looked like a Mimbo.
I
don't
Mexico.
remember.
See, no law. Morales.
Mexico.
Where's X sweet spot? Where's my totals, bud? Where's my totals? Philo will be the big underdog pick. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll be there in a fight or two. 8-3 Giles. There we go. Humble fighter parlay.
Is it really 8-3 Giles?
That's what
I'm
it
surprised.
says. I trust X sweet spot. Early prediction.
Are we
on
taking
Nate
all
the
votes or
Train.
just member votes?
All votes, but the members go to the payouts go to the member.
I'm a member. That's interesting. I think the way the full card parlay was laid out when I saw it for a split second, I think it was all my picks, which is not surprising. The man of the people, the people's champ.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see right here. I've got my bag packed for my parlay I'm about to hit, and I'm gone.
I'm surprised you even own a suitcase, considering you've never left your apartment. But you got a suitcase. Can you lift it up and show us how empty it is?
Huh?
Yeah.
I can't lift that thing up.
You know how heavy gold bars are?
There's so many Bitcoins in there. Speaking of Bitcoin, I gotta make sure I hit that parlay because Bitcoin has not been a good 48 hours for me. I'll tell you that.
Put a like. All right, early prediction of Lerone. Let's get through this first,
And let me tell the people too, I have 23 total units on the fights tonight, which is just
that's a
insane
problem for you. Okay, it looks like Trevin Giles was the pick. Let's move over to our full card parlay screen. If you are just tuning in and you don't know what we're doing,
wait, scroll up. Money. Let me look. Hold on, scroll up. Let me look at
show
these
you right
picks.
here. Let me
K Hansen. Boom.
Stop talking.
Got it.
Vanessa,
love it. Got it.
Right, well,
Jannero, love it.
Okay.
Gravely, love it. These are all my picks.
Okay. We are doing a full card parlay. So if you're just tuning in now, we're walking through every single fight. We're taking your picks in the live chat. We're building a full card parlay. I am putting $10 on it. And then the money, if the parlay hits, the money goes to you. It goes to the members of this channel. So if you want to qualify for this full card parlay and you want to get that money, click the join button under this video. It's incredibly helpful. And you qualify yourself for the parlay, as well as if you win our free DraftKings league, I'll send you $50 as a congratulations. Right now, the full card parlay is K Hansen at minus 225.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you're unmuted. Okay. Vanessa Demopoulos at minus 140. Jannero Valdez at plus 160. Tony Gravely at minus 250. Jack Della Maddalena at minus 345. Honey Barsolos at minus 510. And Trevin Giles at minus 115. $10 gets us $250. This is not going to be a big payout if we stick on this route.
I would go with Pete Rodriguez. I would switch Pete Rodriguez first round. I'm telling you right now, first round knockout, Pete Rodriguez. I put 2 units on it. I don't just say stuff. I put my money where my mouth is. You got to respect that. First round knockout. I'm telling you, that guy is the new Mike Perry, and he's gonna come in and knock somebody's head off.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So, some of you, if you don't see a join button, or some of you literally are like, I'd love to be a member, but I hate Google, so I'm not going to support that way. In the description, and even in this live chat, it's popping up saying, oh, you enjoy the show? Buy the guys a beer. You can become a member through that. It's a completely different platform. It's completely different. It's not Google, but you'll be a member. And I'll divide the money accordingly. So go into the description. It says buy the guys a beer. Click that. Become a member through there. If you don't see a join button under the video. And guys, thank you so much for the support. This is one of the most fun live streams we've done in a while. And we're flirting with 100 of you watching live. So appreciate it.
Are you getting sick? What's with that little sniffles?
I got stuffy all of a sudden.
Oh,
so,
God.
Listen, I'm a Rona survivor, so we're good. Bulletproof.
Same. Me and you
Bulletproof.
both. Me and you both.
Okay.
I'm getting the tattoo. Rona Survivor right here.
Just of the picture of the virus with the spikes and stuff?
Yeah, the circle, but just going to say Survivor down my neck. I went to the artist yesterday and got it all drawn out and everything. Get it done Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, great. Good job. They had a needle that small for that pin neck of yours. So next up, we have Said Nurmagomedov fighting Cody Stamann. Let us know in the comments what your pick is for this fight. We only have a few fights left. Let us know in the comments what your pick is for the fight. We will add it to the full card parlay. Said Nurmagomedov is 14-2 overall. He's 4-1 in his last 5, but he is coming off of a year-long layoff. Cody Stamann is 19-4, technically 19-4-1. He's riding a 2-fight loss streak, but he and when I was doing my research, he had 20 amateur fights before he became a professional, which is so this dude almost has 50 fights in his career. Cody Stamann, he's pretty well-rounded. He's a wrestler. He's wrestled at all levels in high school and in college, which is a big deal. He started boxing at the age of 16. He's pretty technical everywhere. He sets a really nice pace. He doesn't really have power in his hands, but he does set things up well for takedowns. And despite the name, Said Nurmagomedov is not related to any of the other Nurmagomedovs. He's not a grappler at all. He is a striker, a flashy striker at that. He uses length really well. He'll throw kicks like it's no problem at all. His striking is versatile. He has an impressive 5-2 significant strike differential and an even more impressive 71% takedown defense, which will matter in this fight. And this should be a really fun fight because Cody's pace, and he gets 3 takedowns per fight, versus Said's length, his speed, his striking. It's a really fun matchup. I think this is super close. I think these odds are absurd. Personally, I think this is close. I like Cody in the underdog spot here. I think Said's going to be a little ring rust with a year off, and I think Cody's just going to bite down on that mouthpiece, throw a bunch of strikes, and then just grapple, and he's got the cardio to continue that pace. I think he stays in Said's face. I think he gets it done. $7,600 is a great DraftKings price, but this is not about my picks. It's about yours, Jakey boy. What do you think happens in this fight? Everybody else in the comments, start typing away.
Yeah, I think, this fight, I was really, really high on Cody. And then I found out that you're really high on Cody. And then it seems like everyone else is really high on Cody. I feel like this is like a trendy pick, and it kind of worries the hell out of me, honestly. This feels like I still think Cody's going to win. I think he's got the wrestling. I think people are going to be surprised with Said's wrestling. I guess surprised. You see Nurmagomedov, you just assume he's a good wrestler, but he really is a striker, as you mentioned. Cody's tough. I feel like Cody's going to get in these striking battles with him and get caught early. I still think Cody can win. I think he probably will win, but as this fight goes on, or as a week goes on, it just seems like Cody's the more and more trendy pick. It seems a lot of people are on that side. You see it in the chat, too. I mean, when this first fight first came up, I saw a lot of Cody's popping up. So my pick is Cody, but I don't feel great about it as I did, Tuesday. So.
Two things. One, Joey Todoro is going to put, thank you very much, Joe. It's very appreciated. Joey is going to put the DraftKings ownership projections in our Discord. So join our free. Everything's free. We don't charge for anything. We just ask that you become a member if you want to get some of these big-ass payouts. But all the content's free. We're not going to hide picks behind a paywall. None of that's going to happen, including the Discord. 100% free. Joe is going to put the DraftKings ownership projections on the Discord. The link's in the description. Join the Discord, and you'll see that stuff there. Let's look at people's picks. So put your picks for this fight in the live chat. And very quickly, let's look at the stats. Said's a little taller, has a decent reach advantage, and he does use his reach advantage pretty well. I mentioned the 71% takedown defense, which matters. Cody Stamann, good wrestler, only 44% takedown accuracy. He does almost average 3 takedowns per fight, which is a big deal. Striking stats pretty much all go to Said. So it's striker versus grappler matchup for sure. And let's
that
see.
Mr. Savage comment. It's like exactly what I'm worried about.
I didn't get there yet.
Yeah, Cody said he doesn't want to be known as a wrestler, so he might come out and try to prove a point and get KO. That's exactly what I'm worried about. Anytime you see those grapplers, because Cody is probably one of those grapplers that probably has the better striking as far as somebody that's known as a grappler. We mentioned
He's been boxing since he was 16.
Right, we've seen these guys like Phil Hawes and Brendan Allen who think they're strikers. Cody's actually is a pretty decent striker. I don't think he's on the same level as Saeed, but if he tries to prove a point, that's what I'm really, really worried about, because he can strike and he might just get caught up in those battles and get caught with one of those wild kicks from Saeed. So I hope he just wrestles and just grinds out a victory. But that's Mr. Savage. That's definitely what I'm worried about.
So so far it's like 3-1 Cody. 3-2, 3-3. Let's see.
And definitely the longer the fight goes, I think favors Cody too.
I agree. The Discord's free. There's a link in our description that just says Discord. Click it, and then you're in the Discord. I had this is COVID related. Let's see, Saeed. So I think now we're 4-3 with Saeed. Mr. Savage saying Saeed can grapple. Alex Wisby getting rich off the picks. You're welcome.
I think Saeed's probably the pick.
It looks like that may have. I agree. We started with an early Cody. Cody looked to rip that face off, but I'm going to trust their mark. It's not the same bloodline. It's not the same bloodline.
Well, it probably is eventually, just not super immediate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same last name, so you got to be somewhat related, right?
No.
But they're not like.
Okay. Anyway.
I mean, technically we're all
Ancestry.com
right?
breakdown from Jacob.
Adam and Eve, I don't know.
Nick might put Cody in his parlay. Let's find out who's going in our parlay. Someone's bragging about Tracy Cortez in the DMs. We got a Cody.
Yeah, that guy got banned, by the way. You talk bad about my girls and you're banned. I mean, there's no warning shots. There's nothing. You talk bad about my girls, you guys are gone.
Cody is bad for DraftKings. Exactly, Chris B. I don't know what Chris B said. Saeed committing murder. Cody's a bum. It looks like Saeed's the pick here. Cody said he doesn't. Oh, this is the comment you mentioned before. Cody said he doesn't want to be known as a wrestler. He might come out to try and prove a point and get knocked out. Let's see. 8-5, Saeed.
You know the other thing that kind of worried me about Cody? Hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. I forgot to mention this Tuesday.
I'm with Paul here.
So the one thing that really worries me about Saeed, and I hate when people do this, fighters, is when they're already calling somebody out before they fight the person in front of them. So Saeed says, Cody said, after I dominate Saeed, I'm going to call out Sean O'Malley. So he's like already like thinking past Saeed. And sometimes that confidence is good, but sometimes it's like, dude, you got a dude in front of you that's like legit. So you better want to just calm down and just handle your business first.
Let's see. What's the Saeed by stoppage prop bet? Saeed Nurmagomedov. Right now the line is minus 175 for Saeed to win. Saeed to win by KO, TKO, or DQ is plus 425. That's pretty solid. Okay. Said via Cobra Clutch. Saeed said. We're at like 10-5 for Saeed. Thank you, XC Spot. You doing the totals is like stupid helpful.
Imagine you just skewing the numbers for whatever he wants.
Who? X Sweet Spot? He could be.
Could be. This could just be his parlay.
Sorry, nobody ever wants to see another man put on chapstick. It's a very effeminate thing to do, but
I disagree. I always have chapstick. I'm putting it on at the gym. I'll make eye contact with someone, be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, and then you do it like that.
I do it like this, and then you go.
You just do the top. Yeah, you just do the top lip, and then. Okay.
I mean, that's how you're supposed to do it. I usually just do the bottom.
I'm married with 2 daughters, so I know how that works. I don't know.
This is cherry, and I don't lose my chapsticks either. Look how this thing's been through the wash. Okay. I mean, this thing's unreal. Right.
Okay, we've got Saeed Nurmagomedov minus 190 on my bookie. Jesus, the bet online odds are minus 175. This brings our parlay up to plus 3,867, $10 to win almost 400. Guys, we need an underdog here. And Jill with the lipstick. Okay, so if anybody is just tuning in, we are building a full card parlay with the picks from the live chat. I'm going to take $10 of my money, throw it at the parlay. Hopefully, if we get some more underdogs in the picks here, the parlay will pay out pretty healthy, and the payout is going to go to the members of this channel. I'm not keeping it. It's going to the members of this channel. And to become a member, there's a
how do you become a member?
What time is it?
Let us know.
To become a member, there's a join button.
I'm interested in becoming a member.
To become a member, there's a join button under the video. Just click the join button. It helps us out tremendously, and you qualify yourself not only for the weekly full card parlay payout, but also if you join our free DraftKings league and win that, it's free. It's all free. And win that, I'll send you $50 as a congratulations. All of that stuff is members only. None of the content is members only. All the payouts are members only. And Nicholas said he might do the Saeed Nurmagomedov by KO.
Someone asked about inside the distance. Did you already answer that?
I did. It was plus 425. It was by KO, not inside the distance.
Inside the distance is just plus 310 for Saeed.
So, and he's not going to submit him. Okay. Yeah. That's where the full card parlay is. Just a quick recap. We only got 3 fights left. So let's just recap. We got Hansen, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jannero Valdez, Tony Gravely, Jack Della, Maddalena, Roni Barsolos or Honi, Trevin Giles, and Saeed Nurmagomedov at plus 3,867. Let's move on.
The chat's kind of boring with their picks, huh? Just all favorites?
It's their money, man. It is all favorites, but honestly, this is a very favorite-heavy card.
I disagree. I think this is a very underdog-heavy card.
And that's why you are feast or famine. And unfortunately for you, the next few weeks will be famine. And just take some food home with you after you come over for the fights tonight. Then we have Michelle Pereira, the feature fight of the evening. Michelle Pereira versus Andre Filo. Michelle Pereira, 26-11 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5. And he's coming off of 2 decision wins, which in a second, we'll talk about how that's pretty incredible for him. Andre Filo, 14-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 4-fight stoppage win streak, making his UFC debut, which is a theme here. Almost every single person on this card is making their UFC debut, at least one fighter on each side. Or one fighter on one, you get it. One fighter in each fight. Andre Filo, this is also short notice because Michelle Pereira's original opponent for last week dropped. Michelle Pereira, he's a capoeira fighter. That's the Brazilian dance fighting, the like spinning around, kicks, flips, swirls, all of that is his. I actually managed the guy for a while, Cristiano Souza. He's retired now, but he was a capoeira fighter. You guys get a free minute between this live stream and the fights. Look up Cristiano, my boy, Cristiano Souza.
I'm doing it, right? This is it?
Dude, he has a capoeira knockout, too, where he was facing his opponent, touched the ground, full spin, kick to the head, knockout.
Well, that's what, what's his name? Chris Barnett pretty much did against, what's that guy's name?
Yeah, Sean
yeah, that's pretty much what he did, was one of those.
Yeah, so Cristiano Souza.
He just got signed to a fight, too, in April, I think, so that'll be fun.
Chris, I'll reach out to Chris and have him on the show. He's
a UFC newcomer too, so I think they're trying to like pump him up because he's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's very entertaining. Anyway, Michelle Pereira, capoeira fighter. That's the Brazilian dance fighting. That's why he's just so stupid athletic. Flips, swirls, all of that. The read historically, if you're breaking him down last year, the year before, the read historically was that Michelle Pereira needs to fix his cardio and calm down to win some of these bigger fights. But he doesn't need to. He just beat 2 guys in a row. The last one was Nico Price by decision, and his cardio didn't wane. He was in shape. He was ready to go, and it was a pretty active fight. And he actually grappled quite a bit in that fight against Nico Price. I think he got 3 takedowns or something like that. He does have incredible power, incredible speed, really athletic, unorthodox, and can grapple. Michelle Pereira's the full package. They have him listed at 28 years old, but he looks.
What about a package?
What?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Andre Filo, 14-3, making his UFC debut. He is a striker. He has a nice double jab, so pop with the left hand, but no combinations. He does not throw combinations at all. The jab, that is literally how you jab. The jab is very solid. His biggest issue is he has zero head movement and zero striking defense whatsoever. He gets hit with anything straight that you throw at him. If you put a little loop on it, he may be able to have enough time to move out of the way. But if you throw something straight, it will connect every single time. Go watch him versus Chris Curtis in the PFL. And I get it, Chris is a better boxer than most, but he lit Andre Filo up with literally anything he wanted to throw. Hit Andre Filo in the face. But Andre Filo is tough, has a really good chin, real good power in his hands, and he's got very good kicks. His kicks are his biggest asset. He's almost like a Giga with the kicks. Not quite as talented.
Oh, come on.
Not quite as talented, but he will kick to manage range and distance and will let up your legs. So, Michel Pereira, incredibly talented. He's got the speed, athleticism. He's very good everywhere. Versus short notice, Andre Filo. I like Michel Pereira here. Andre Filo does have that dangerous power all 3 rounds. I like Pereira. Pereira's my pick. What do you think, Jacob? Everybody else, comment in the live stream so we can add your pick to the full fight parlay.
Yeah, Michel Pereira is my pick. You know what's kind of funny is ESPN MMA retweeted that backflip thing he did against Nico Price. He literally backflipped and one of his feet lands on Nico's head, and Nico looks at the ref like, "Hey, you can't do that." And ESPN MMA tweeted that GIF or that video, or whatever. Nico retweeted or quoted and was like, "Hey, that's illegal, guys. Why are you promoting this? That's literally an illegal move. What are you doing?" And Nico's such a fun dude, but I think Michel Pereira dominates this fight. I think the interesting play, honestly, in this fight, you mentioned the grappling in the Nico fight. Michel Pereira is a guy that he does do the wild stuff. He does try and get a knockout, but he is people don't understand how good of a grappler he is. And a lot of times when he gets somebody hurt, he goes for those submissions. He'll just dive in and go for a rear naked choke or something. Michel Pereira at +5, it's +500 by submission win. I might, later take a stab at that. I mean, I know I have a lot of units on this card already, but that's something that kind of caught my eye. It's something with some decent value is Michel Pereira by submission. So I think he dominates this fight. I'm going to predict a Michel Pereira first round submission. That's my prediction for this fight.
Well, let's see what the live chat says. We're building a full fight card parlay.
I think it's everybody against Mbe. I think Mbe is the only person that's picking Andre.
No, yep. Mbe is with Filo. Undefeated, likes
Are we
underdogs.
sure it's called Filo? It doesn't look like Filo, does it? Fiala?
It's probably Fialo. And somebody was giving me a hard time. If you're going to run a professional show, say their name's professional. Listen, man.
And it might be Andrei Fialo.
I grew up around accents. My parents aren't from America. I've grown up around accents, and I make it a point to say things as American as possible my whole life.
Are they they're Canadian?
They're from Italy. A real place. Then we have another Pereira by KO. Pereira, lots of parlays. Got my odds looking like +500K. Not ours. Michel Pereira, the one
Fialo.
dog is the lock of the week.
Is that right, Bonkiki? Fialo? Makes sense, I guess. Fialo.
Filo, retired James
Andre
Vick.
Filo. Now he's just saying random stuff. He just said back-to-back with different last names. What's going on here?
Philo is going to get hit with some wit, and he ain't seen before. That is very possible. Fight does not go the distance, is better odds than Michel moneyline. That's interesting. Pereira for the somersault. Michel Pereira. Riverdance KO. That's pretty funny. Thank you, X Sweet Spot. I don't think a double jab. Oh, it's definitely not going to be enough. It was just
kind of crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
I literally was like, it wasn't even, we tried to start at the same time. I'm mid words.
I know, but I just saw something, so I got to go.
Okay, your ADD is not my problem. So, Mr. Savage, very quickly, what was disappointing is breaking down Andre's footage. You see the double jab, wow, that's nice. And then nothing after that is combination. Go ahead.
Double jab. No, I'm just scrolling through the round bettings and stuff for this fight, looking for something interesting. Michel Pereira in round 1 is only plus 275. Isn't that kind of crazy? So I think he's gonna jump all over him early. It's also are we sure it's Pereira? Because Rogan said Pereira during the ceremonial weigh-in.
I don't even know if he's Portuguese. Is he Brazilian?
Michel, yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, so then
Michel
then it's
Pereira.
If he's Brazilian, it's Pereira.
That's not what Dr. Joe Rogan said. So
okay, well, he's gonna get a point deducted for that one day. Yeah, absolutely.
Pereira, it's funny too. When we started at the same time, we started at the same time there. I'm not taking blame on that. I was speaking of like pronunciations. Dr. Joe Rogan butchered my girl's last name. He said Vanessa Demopoulos or something like that. It was kind of funny. And did we talk about that? She literally, take this off the screen. She literally, when she walked up for the weigh-ins, did like the woo with the shirt, jumped up into the splits. I've never, go ahead. We need to change the subject.
What a creep. Don't stand up for a few minutes.
No, we got to just change the subject. I gotta get a t-shirt on.
X sweet spot 9-1 Pereira at this point. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Joe, for putting the projections in our Discord. Take Jacob off the screen, please. Absolutely. My favorite to win. Okay. What's the favorite to win in round 2? I guess he means what are the odds? All right, let's take a look. We are going to add Michel Pereira Parutz at God knows what insane number. Michel Pereira only minus 280. Ooh, the money moved.
270 on Bet Online.
What?
He's 270 at Bet Online.
Yeah, the money moved. So now our odds go to, we're getting there. We'll hit $1,000. The co-main and main might help us out here. The odds are plus 5,285 if you don't know what we're doing. We are building a full card parlay with your picks from the live stream. So hop into the chat, give us your picks, and if this parlay hits, the money is going to the members of this channel. If you want to become a member, click the join button under this video. Membership gets you all of the payouts and giveaways. We're going to do that for members. Plus, fancy little crowns next to your name in all the comments, emotes, and fun stuff like that. We'll always add stuff. We're trying to make membership as appealing as possible. Let's take a look at our parlay. Odds plus 5,285. K. Hansen, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jannero Valdez, Tony Gravely, Jack Della, Maddalena, Honey Barsolos, Trevin Giles, Saeed Nurmagomedov, and Michelle.
You know what's funny is the if you notice, the only underdog on there is the lock of the week. I think the people are paying attention.
What's up, AJ? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Ngannou Moreno. Well, next up, Ngannou and Moreno. Let's move from the parlay. Guys, let us know in the live chat your picks for this fight, and we will add it to the full card parlay. Okay, so we've got Brandon Moreno fighting Divas and Figueiredo. This is their third fight. If we recap, the first fight was a majority draw, which means 2 of the 3 judges saw it as a draw. 1 judge actually gave it to Divas and Figueiredo. And if you watch that fight, you know that Divas and Figueiredo had a point deducted. So, realistically, Divas and Figueiredo won that first fight. But there was an illegal, what was it, an illegal what? Kick? What was it?
Shot to the nutsack.
Okay. A shot to the testicles. A point deducted. Should have won that fight, but the point made it a draw, a majority draw. The second fight was Brandon Moreno the entire time. Divas and Figueiredo came out hot, completely gassed. Brandon Moreno took over, absolutely dominated. That was his fight, which is why Brandon Moreno is a good-sized favorite. Even though not technically, but they should be 1-1 here. Brandon Moreno, 19-5 overall. He's 4-0-1 in his last 5. Divas and Figueiredo, 20-2 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5. Brandon Moreno is fantastic. He's stupid tough. He's got a great chin, and he has a non-stop pace. In their first fight, he won the wrestling exchanges. He won some of the scrambles. He does not have anywhere near the power that Figgy does, but he's got volume. And just like last time, if he can push a really solid pace and keep a fight dirty, he could potentially exhaust Deiveson Figueiredo and take over. Deiveson Figueiredo, really well-rounded guy. He's literally dangerous everywhere. He's got incredible power in his hands. He's got really solid BJJ. He's an actual threat. He's got takedowns, takedown defense, and he can scramble. His biggest issue has always been, and we don't know if it still will be, but has always been his cardio. I imagine you guys are going to be split on this pick. Here's the deal. We did an early breakdown a few weeks ago during the big break, I liked Brandon Moreno in that fight. Just more of the same. I think it'd be a closer fight, but I thought Brandon Moreno, his pace would be a little too much. He'll avoid the early damage and things like that. But looking at Figueiredo at the weigh-ins, looking at his Instagram, knowing he's with Henry Cejudo, who can obviously cut weight the proper way, I'm liking Figueiredo here. Because I think we can all agree that Deiveson Figueiredo is the better fighter, right? We can all agree he's the better fighter. Is he more likable? Absolutely not. Does he have better cardio? Absolutely not. Does he have more heart? Absolutely not. But I think he's the more technical striker. I think he's got the better jiu-jitsu, and he 100% has more power. So Figueiredo's the better fighter. Cardio has been the issue. I think he fixed the cardio. I've got to go with Figueiredo here. I've got to. You got to pick the better fighter. Unless, you know, the cardio's nonsense, but I think he's worked on it. What do you think, Jacob? Everybody else in the live chat, let us know your picks, and we will add it to our full card parlay.
Yeah, I think Chris V made a great point in the chat as far as Moreno is not scared of Figgy, and that's a huge point in this fight, because if you get on your back foot and you get a little defensive against Figgy, he's just gonna get in his rhythm and stay on top of you and land those power shots. The other thing is Brandon Moreno's chin. Can it hold up again? Because that second fight, it didn't really get tested. That first fight, he was eating shots. He was getting hit by Figgy, and Figgy was landing the shots that he wanted to land. But it was kind of almost like the Conor McGregor-Dustin fight. When Dustin won in the second round, the reason Dustin won that fight was because he was just eating the shots Conor was landing. And he said they hurt, but he was eating them. Brandon Moreno did the same thing that first fight. He was slipping some, and these guys are smaller guys, so there's going to be a lot of shots that they slip and miss. But the shots that Figgy wanted to land in that first fight, he landed, and Moreno ate it, and that's why he was able to get that kind of that draw decision, even though he technically kind of lost the fight. You know, my heart and everything is rooting for Brandon Moreno. All I want to happen is I do not want Brandon Moreno to get stopped in this fight. That's the only thing, because that would break everyone's heart to see Brandon Moreno get stopped in this big title fight.
So
right. I mean, he's the greatest guy in the UFC. It's like him and Glover. It's like 1 and 2 probably. But I agree. Leading up to this fight, the closer it gets, it feels like it's Figgy, more Figgy. I actually put an aggressive bet on this fight because I'm not sure which way it goes, but I put a fight does not start round 4, so it's got to end in the first 3 rounds. The odds are plus 125 for that. I feel like Figgy's going to come out.
Good enough odds to do that.
Plus 125? Yeah, full 3 rounds.
I'm surprised you would do that at plus 125.
Yeah, I mean, it's full 3 rounds in the last fight that someone looked good. The fight got finished in the second round. So I think that Figgy comes out, is aggressive. I think there's going to be brawls in the beginning. I can see in the first minute somebody getting stunned because they're both going to – because Moreno's not scared of him. And Figgy throws bombs, and we'll see what happens. I want Moreno to win. I hope Moreno wins. My pick is going to be Brandon Moreno, but, you know, I don't love it. And I think I'm even keeping him out of my DraftKings because I don't love it. Actually, I think I put Figgy in my DraftKings.
Figgy's in my DraftKings.
Yeah, I think that's just the better value. I think it's a better play.
I spent every penny in my draft. I don't have $1 left over.
I have $500 left.
Let's see who the live chat picked. We've got Eric Gonzalez, Viva Mexico. So he's going with Moreno. Braley wants to know the lock of the week. That was Jannero Valdez. You don't vote. Figueiredo. So we're 1-1. 2-1 Figgy, 2-2 Moreno. I agree. Figueiredo looks solid at weigh-ins.
10-6 Moreno.
That's my guess. I'm going in chronological order here.
I know, but that's my guess.
Okay. Figgy by TKO, another Figgy, another Moreno, another Figgy.
I actually almost placed a Figgy TKO bet, but I couldn't do it in my heart, so that's why I did the.
Your heart wouldn't allow you.
That's literally why I placed just the under 4 rounds, just so I could like kind of hedge both sides.
Or just do fight does not go the distance. I see
No.
Figgy gassing plus Moreno is not afraid.
That's
of
only
him.
that's minus 150. No thanks.
Oh jeez. Yeah, Moreno should be afraid of him though. Honestly, just because you went in there with him twice doesn't mean that he can't take your head off. Another Moreno over 3.5. Direct contradiction. 5-4 Moreno. Figgy won't be able to just spark Moreno like he did with old ass Joey B. Figgy is better. More Viva Mexico. Mbaye has Figgy by decision plus 600 earlier this week. But if Figgy flatlines Moreno, I'll be so happy. Good for you. MMA fan Brandon Moreno. You don't think Moreno's more likable than Figueiredo? Mbaye, this is like the fifth topic you've been on the other side.
Yeah, I'm gonna time her out real quick. I mean, that's just unreal.
That's like a universal thing. That's not even.
Yeah, what are you doing?
How could you ever want to see? Yeah, Bonquiqui. Moreno is more cringe. Gee, the dude's just smiling, living his life.
Yeah, I mean, the only cringe thing that you could ever say is the Jordan jersey, which I love. And he actually wore it again, so he's worn it like twice in the last week. I don't know if he's been washing and drying that thing. But he's got the he had the nunchucks too. I don't know if you watched the embeddeds, but he's been walking around with nunchucks. And he actually, Francis came out of an interview and he tossed Francis the nunchucks. So him and Francis, he's like trying to teach Francis how to use nunchucks. That's pretty funny. He's a good guy.
Moreno, Uncle Angelo. I'll take Uncle Angelo. A Figgy. Go on to American.
No,
okay. What did I just pick? What did I just pick?
Yeah, I just deleted all those and banned that guy. I'm like, what the hell?
Did you ban him?
Yeah.
All right, good. Hey, see, we need a moderator. How did this is what happens. You just start clicking and not reading. All right. Is it Moreno? Is Moreno officially the pick to add to the parlay?
Mbaye does have a point. There was her news comment. There was a point when Figgy was like doing his thing where Moreno just started going just into the mic. But he is just like a little kid, man. That's what's. I mean, he's the assassin baby. What do you expect?
What's up, Sam Nation? Elements. All right, you can plug your stuff here. My dog parlay is Rodriguez, Giles, Oliveira, and the man. 20 euros or pounds. Is that pounds? That's pounds. Cool. Moreno is hilarious. I don't know if he's hilarious. He's just really nice, though. All right, let's look.
He's just annoying. He's just him. I mean, he's never fake. That's just who he is.
All right, let's add Brandon Moreno to our full card parlay. If you don't know, you just hopped in. We are building a full card parlay, and I am doing it with your picks from the live chat. So hop in, give us your picks. We're going to do a full card parlay. I'm throwing $10 at it. I'm laying out $10. But if the parlay hits, you get the money. You guys get the money. The money goes to the members of this channel. So if you want to be a member, you want to get yourself the payout if this hits, which it may, click the join button under this video, become a member. You qualify not only for this payout, but also you can join our free DraftKings League. And if you win that, I'll send you $50 as a thank you. The odds have now flexed to plus 8,196. So this $10 bet will pay out over $800. Let's recap the parlay so far. We've only got one fight left. We've got Kay Hansen, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jannero Valdez, Tony Gravely, Jack Della, Maddalena, Hani Barcelos, Trevin Giles, Saeed Nurmagomedov, Michelle Pajeda, Brandon Moreno. One fight left. Will the main event get us over the $1,000 mark? Let's find out. And finally, we have the main event. Before I break down the main event, let me give you guys my conspiracy theory. I did the short on it.
Oh, my God. Are we really going to do this?
Yeah, we're going to do it real quick.
Oh, my God.
Do I have to mute you for the third time in one stream? It's a new record.
I should mute you while you did and just put
That's weird. What happened to his microphone? Anyway, some of you guys hated the theory. Here's the thing. Francis Ngannou, and this does factor into the pick a little bit. Francis Ngannou in a contract dispute with the UFC. Luckily, the championship clause does not go on forever anymore. He actually said in a press conference yesterday that his contract expires after 5 years. So after 5 years, he can be free and clear. He fought 4 years ago, so he's got 1 more year in his contract. If he wins the belt, he has no negotiation. It extends his contract by 3 fights, or keeps the belt. It extends the contract by 3 fights. The pay is already established, and he's made it very clear he doesn't like his pay. So what I said would be the coolest thing to ever happen in the history of sports. Bearded, yeah, it is ridiculous. That's the point. The coolest thing that would ever happen in the history of sports is if Francis Ngannou went out there, dropped Cyril Gane, like has him almost knocked out cold, then just stops, leans down, taps on the mat, technically loses the fight, but dominated Cyril Gane, clearly the better fighter, and now he's free and clear. Free and clear. He can box. Bellator could pay him $20 million. The greatest negotiating position anybody can be in. It'll never happen before you come for my throat with your bullshit. And who was I arguing with the other day? You signed the contract, bro. You signed. That's not how this isn't. This isn't football where you just signed a 2-year deal, but you got good after the first year and you want more money. You sign a 5-fight contract, and if you win the belt, you're basically a prisoner and you're locked in forever. It doesn't. You can't fight out your contract if you're the champion. That's the end of that. That's that rant. Let me know your picks on this fight in the live chat so we can add it to the parlay. Listen to it. We've got Cyril Gane, who has incredible footwork. Incredible footwork. He does not have a ton of power. Obviously, heavyweights have power, but he does not have a ton of power. But he does have really good footwork. We've seen him mix in some wrestling takedowns, and he's one of the most technical strikers that we've ever seen, especially at heavyweight. Francis Ngannou is a nasty kickboxer with insane power. He does also have footwork. Certainly not the same level of Cyril Gane, but Francis Ngannou is a lot more. I don't like the narrative of we have power versus technique. I personally think that narrative is a little off because Francis Ngannou is obviously incredibly skilled. If you go back and watch his sequel against Stipe Miocic, I mean, the dude looked incredible. I mean, when Stipe took a shot, he stuffed it, took his back, picked him up, dumped him, and then fought from there. I mean, the guy looked absolutely incredible. If all of the contract stuff is a non-factor and Francis Ngannou is not furious at the UFC, Francis Ngannou is the pick. I do think that hating the UFC, hating his former coach, I think all of wanting the box, I think all of these things are a factor. I think they are all in his, affecting his mental state. I think there's almost way too much pressure here. So Gane is like my new razor thin pick, but I actually think Francis Ngannou is the better fighter. And you guys yelled at me when I said that. He's not better. Ciro's better. Francis Ngannou, I think, is actually the better fighter. Does he have better footwork? Of course not. But I do think he's the better fighter. And if you watch the training footage, it didn't tell you much other than Francis Ngannou doesn't give a shit about Cyril Gane's power. Jacob, that's my very long-winded whatever. What do you think while I take a look at the picks?
I think that Francis Ngannou isn't even going to show up. I think he's going to boycott the fight. That's my...
No.
I mean, just complete nonsense that you're just spewing. I think the biggest tell of this fight is going to be whether Gane tries to wrestle early. If he tries to wrestle early, that means that he knows he's in trouble on the feet. Not in trouble as far as like he's going to get pieced up, but he knows that one shot can affect him if he comes in and tries to grapple heavy in the beginning. And if Francis is able to stuff those early takedowns, this could be a Francis fight all the way on a kind of a live betting situation. I like Francis probably more than most people in this fight. I kind of wish that this turned a little bit more ugly than it did. There was a lot of, I think it was the media trying to pin these guys against each other. But if you watched the way they interacted, and then that last face-off of the ceremonial weigh-ins, these guys like each other. They're friends with each other. It's just kind of one of those tough situations with the coach involved. But there's no real ill will with these guys. But I still think that Gane tries to come out and prove a point. I think he tries to put Francis away because there's no better way to shut somebody up as far as like Francis when he was talking about oh, I knocked him out in training camp, and got admitted like, yeah, you caught me with the head kick, but we weren't supposed to be going that hard. I wasn't hurt, but they told me not to train or finish the sparring session. So there's a weird argument with that. It's like, who really cares?
That was interesting though, because he basically is like, I knocked you out, and he's like, well, kind of. And he's like,
he said
you didn't train the rest of the week. Okay.
Yeah, he said it was a left high kick. You definitely caught me. I was hurt, but I didn't go to the ground. And he said, you told me you didn't go to the ground. He's like, I didn't go to the ground. I was hurt. He's like, did you finish sparring? He's like, no, I didn't finish. He's like, well, there you go. That kind of proves a point there. But I think Gane tries to put Francis away, and I think he gets in trouble because of it. That's kind of the only reason I'm picking Francis. I think Gane, if he fights the way he should fight, he probably should win the fight. I think that's kind of what everyone's been saying, but I think he gets a little bit too aggressive, chasing a finish, and Francis is going to be there, as Francis typically is. So Francis is my pick in this fight, but it is a close fight, and we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how everyone else picks in this fight for sure.
Let's see what the live chat says. We're going to add this to our full card parlay and see what that does to our odds. Hopefully you're keeping track, X Sweet Spot, because this is a busy one. We've got Ngannou, Gane. Oh no, Ngannou. So 2-1 Ngannou, 3-1 Ngannou. I don't know what you're laughing at. That's a solid theory. If that happens, let's say in some weird world,
did you just say that's a solid theory? Please, please. Yeah, I'm bet.
Let's say Francis Ngannou in some world saw my video and was like, "That's a shit."
Oh my God. What the hell is going on?
Another Ngannou.
This is crazy.
Trolling.
I'm surprised.
I am surprised as well. Nobody would want a fighter that's willing to do that. Get out of here. Bonquiqui, beat it. Francis is going to send Gane back to France with a slurred speech. Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm glad that somebody, Bonquiqui mentioned that Francis came in at 257. I was very wrong. When they showed that picture a few weeks ago when we did that early breakdown, when they showed like that workout video and he looked like he was awful or whatever, he does not look awful at all. He looks fantastic. Both of these gentlemen look unreal.
Everybody, I'm surprised so many people are on Francis in this live chat.
I know.
I think Francis wins by KO, but because I think the most likely outcome, the two most likely outcomes are either Francis by KO or Cyril Gane by decision. Francis has 3 losses. He's gone to decision twice, and both of them were losses. So I'm just surprised.
Francis by submission plus 2,500.
Francois. Stipe did look off that night, but I think part of it is, you stand in front of Francis Ngannou. That shot was not set up, but the point is Francis was there, ready, reversed it, picked him up. Francis looked fantastic in that.
How much, this is a serious question. This is a 100% serious question. How much would you need to fight Francis and you can't tap? You can get knocked out or submitted, I guess, if you're getting submitted, but how much would you take to fight Francis? And he probably, obviously you're going to get knocked out, but I honestly don't think I would take any amount of money, because if he hits me, I am going to die.
I've been, you guys
think of a real amount, because that's a serious question.
Yeah. So I always say I've managed fighters for a very long time, but before I managed fighters, I was training. I wanted to be a fighter. I wrestled my whole life. Then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and then I was like, all right, let me fight. And I actually got a couple fights booked, and they all fell through. Because at the amateur level, fights just fall through all the time. But it was nerve-wracking. Knowing you're going to fight another human being in front of your friends and family in 6 weeks out, whatever, is freaking nerve-wracking. It's literally not for everybody. So I never ended up doing it, and it was just eating me alive. With that being said, I trained hard for a while, and I've never been knocked out, but the hardest I've ever hit was Glover Teixeira, fucking cracked me when I was 21, cracked me. And it was I had a headache for 3 days. So to fight Francis Ngannou at my age and current weight, I don't know, $500? No, it would be a lot of money. I got kids, man. I'm not trying to be brain dead.
Well, I want to know an actual amount.
My kids.
And while you think about that, I was going to bring this up in the videos we were doing, but I figured it's better for the live stream, because we were talking about Figueiredo, how he's intimidating figure, and then you made a comment until you see him at the grocery store and he's up to my knees or whatever. Do you think you could beat Deiveson Figueiredo in a fight?
100%. 100%. 100%. Dude, he's 125 pounds.
Yeah, he's probably
150
on fight day.
I've trained combat sports for 30 years. 100%. Zero doubt in my mind whatsoever. None.
I agree. I mean, I think I can beat him too, but I was just wondering.
Okay. Anyway, when's the last time a heavyweight champ was an underdog? I don't know. Let's think about that. Gane. Stipe only weighed 234. Francis looked great. 11-6. Francis, thank you. Gane will make it a little easy. Francis is on the Jackass movie. Oh, because he's punching people in the stomach like when they had Butterbean do it.
You know, they have a completely new cast for that. How disappointing. I guess they're all old now.
Half of them died or are in rehab and drug addicts. Let's see. Okay. Mad. Oh, I don't know why I pinned Mad. Okay. And I guess here we go. Stipe was an underdog. This is it. This is the final fight. Let's go ahead, add Francis Ngannou to our full card parlay. We are building a full card parlay. This is with your picks. This is the last fight of the parlay, and then we are out of here. Let's see what it does to the odds. Francis Ngannou plus 115 takes us over the $1,000 mark. Oh, what the hell just happened?
And this is going to be split evenly between all the members? Or is
Evenly-
one member going to win it all? 'Cause that's
Evenly
an
between
interesting
all the
strategy,
members.
too. Taking all the members and then just raffling off, and one person wins the whole thing.
Between all the members. Something's happening where it's not.
Oh, God.
There we go. There we go. I got it. Okay, we're good. So this brings our odds. Oh, it's not. All right,
Oh,
I'll figure it
God.
out. Don't worry. This brings the odds to plus, because I'm not logged in anyway. I have to log in to do it, but I didn't need people seeing my money situation, so I'll log in and do it. This brings the odds to 17,736, which means on a $10 bet, $1,700. $1,700 on a $10 bet, and that money will be divided up amongst the members of this channel. Make sure you click the join button under this video to become a member so you can qualify for this payout. And let's look at who we have. We have Kay Hansen, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jannero Valdez, Tony Gravely, Jack Della, Maddalena, Hani Barcelos, Trevin Giles, Saeed Nurmagomedov, Michelle Pajeda, Brandon Moreno, and Francis Ngannou. $10 to win $1,700. That money goes to the members. Become a member. Click the join button under this video. Thank you guys all so much.
Did you
for
delete that
hanging out.
comment? Hold on. Did you delete that comment by MMA fan? He said that Davison would fuck you up.
No, it's
And
right
now
here.
the comment's
And
gone.
he's wrong. This guy doesn't
How would
know
that
me.
fight go? You would get a takedown and just dominate him on the ground?
Yeah, I'm 6 foot.
You're not worried about his jiu-jitsu?
260 pounds, and I have wrestled since I was 8 years old. I've done jiu-jitsu since I was 18 years old. I'm 38 years old. Not a problem. Not a problem. Period.
You've done
period.
jiu-jitsu since you were 13
I've
years
trained
old, but not in the
MMA
last
for
10
15 years. Not a problem. Not a problem. None. He's 125 pounds. At a certain point,
He's like 100.
size
He's not gonna
matters.
make. He's not gonna make 125 pounds for your fight. He's probably gonna be like 160 at least.
160. You think that dude goes from 160
The
to
guy's a
125?
jiu-jitsu. I
You
mean, I
how
don't
this
know,
works.
man. I'm just saying. He's a very good fighter,
All right.
and you're kind of you.
Thank you guys all so much for hanging out. Like, subscribe, do all the things. We appreciate you. We enjoy.
Yeah, they're really turning against you here.
Fuck them, man. I've been training my whole life. I don't give a crap. Who cares? Anyway, Josh gets it.
That's like
No
a
way.
level. That's a level 2 member. Yeah, fuck him. Sorry, Mr. Savage. I don't feel that way. You guys know I'm the people's champ. He talks to you that way. I would never talk to you guys that way.
How is he going to ankle pick me? You don't even know my wrestling accomplishments, and somebody who doesn't wrestle is going to ankle pick me? Come on. Get out of here with this. Hey, I'm in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, for Christ, this sacco. Anyway,
Figgy is 150 pounds on fight night. There's no doubt in my mind.
125 to 150. He's not putting on 25 pounds, man. No
He's
way.
put on 25 pounds. Typically, not this week.
All right, all in good fun. We'll make sure you do all the things. We will see you guys. We're probably not going to do a fight companion tonight because we're going to be drinking and watching the fights. I'll have some people here. But thank you all for hopping in. This was a ton of fun. Obviously, I'm just messing around with the Figgy thing. I have no idea. I'm not going to fight a 125-pound person, let alone one of the best people on the planet Earth. Anyway, thank you all
I'd
very
mess him up,
much.
though.
This is one of our most successful live streams, so we're going to do a little more of this. Good luck to all of you. I pray that this full card parlay pays out so you guys can get the money. We'll see you next week for all the things. Even though it's an off week, we're still going to do some breakdowns and some bets for you. See you then.